I guess this time of the year where, you know, we're in for a couple of good days of weather as well. And you sort of think, well, it's not summer yet, so the sun mightn't be that strong.
So that isn't actually true. There's two types of UV rays, UVA rays and UVB rays. And even on a cloudy day in the UK, like today, the UVA can still be high. So it's important actually that people wear SPF, high-factor sun cream, every single day, even in winter.
But people didn't wear high-factor SPF for generations. Why suddenly do we need to do that on a winter's day in a country, cold climate like England?
So people didn't used to wear SPF and they didn't used to be as clued up on the importance of sun safety. But actually, since the 1990s, the rate of skin cancer has increased at a higher rate than any other cancer. So we are seeing the knock-on effects and the increased rates of skin cancer from that now.
And the interesting thing is, it's fact. You can't deny it. You can't say, oh, I'm not susceptible to it or it doesn't happen. Because I always remember, as a young reporter, realising the people who suffered more from skin cancer were...
Women?
Farmers.
Oh, farmers.
Farmers. That was the biggest rate of people. And obviously, with their whole life in rain
outdoors
and in sun and whatever it is, they were outdoors all the time. So what Frankie was saying, the rays still get through.
Exactly. And, you know, everyone's at risk of skin cancer. It is more commonly seen in people with fair skin types who burn more easily. And having an episode of sunburn, particularly in your childhood years or early teens, can double your risk of developing a skin cancer later in life. But darker skin tones or people who tan easily are still at risk, so it's important not to be complacent.
Yeah, I'm one of both those people. I burn, but then I tan really easily, so I probably need to be careful. But, you know, with all the awareness and everything that goes around it, people are still shocked and surprised to hear that it can actually be fatal. You know, just a case of a dodgy mole perhaps on your nose or whatever it might be, and people die from this.
So it is a fairly preventable and curable cancer type compared to some of the other cancer types. But certain cases of melanoma, which is the most aggressive form of skin cancer, can spread to other parts of the body, just like any other cancer can. So it's important to know the signs and symptoms so that you can go and get that mole checked or that skin lesion checked early and prevent that happening, because about 90% of cases are curable with just surgical excision. So
really, so if you just cut it out, if you find it, if it's detected, you go and see a medic about it, and if it is cut out, that could be most of the problem removed.
Absolutely. Having a previous skin cancer, even if it's cured, does put you at increased risk of developing another skin cancer later in life, but that one can be cured with surgical excision in most cases.
So, Doctor, here's the question. People will have moles, they'll have freckles, they'll have lots of little things, most of which will be totally harmless, and a lot of them are just a sign of ageing, I suppose, in a way. What's there to worry about? I mean, somebody watching this morning, listening this morning, and if they're inspecting themselves, what should they worry about?
So we should look at the A, B, C, D, E of moles. So things to look out for. A, is it asymmetrical or irregular? B, borders. Does it have a nice clear border or has it got jagged edges?
Do we want a nice clear border?
We want a normal healthy mole would have a nice regular border.
OK.
C, for colour. So does it have more than one colour or any unusual colours? D, is it diameter, is it bigger than the size of a pea or is it growing? And E, is it evolving? So is it changing? Is it not healing? Is it bleeding or crusting? They're the 5 things to look out for.
Sometimes moles are in inaccessible places and it's hard to check them. I think of my husband, who's very moley on his back, and he's been told he needs to keep an eye on them, but he can't. So we have this amazing app, which I regularly use the app, and it scans and it checks whether any of them have changed or whether any of them need inspection. And he also has had really great care just through the NHS. Regularly, throughout even the pandemic, he had video calls to check his moles, and they continually call him in regularly, and has had a couple of them. He called it like a hole punch in his back, chopping out the moles. But there's great services out there and ways to keep safe.
Absolutely, and it's all about what you said, you know, tracking over time. Has a mole changed? Is there a new lesion there? And taking photos is a great way to do that. But I would say don't leave it down to your own judgment. If you have any doubt, it's always better to get checked out.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.